Greetings everyone, and welcome back to the bi-weekly report. May has passed, although not quietly, and June has come around. We'd like to thank all of our patrons for their support. The funds we received were enough for 8 brand new illustrations covering 7 articles that are awaiting publication. Actually, 2 of them by Yuvnashva Sharma were already published in articles about the Salvadoran Rayos and Niñas in the Italian Lancia 3RO Blindato. We'd also like to ask for some help from those of you who are better acquainted with social media. For a reason that completely escapes us, our Facebook page is currently flatlining, going from a usual of 80 likes per post to at best 30. We don't really understand what's caused this sudden drop, and we'd appreciate some help. For our archive segment, we have a report on a German secret weapon. This declassified document that was originally submitted to the Chemical Warfare Intelligence Department details German experiments in World War II to create a weapon that could ignite air. This report claims that German scientists discovered a way to ionize air with X-rays so that it could conduct electricity and then ignite that specific layer of air for an explosion, while the other non-ionized layers of air could control the combustion. The report theorizes that such an explosion would burn at 10,000 degrees centigrade, with an area of effect of several kilometers. The report claims Hitler and Goebbels witnessed its testing, and its effect terrified spectators, even causing Goebbels to faint. The report concludes that the use of the weapon would certainly kill the soldiers deploying it, and as such, it theorizes that Hitler would attempt to deliver it to Japan, as it would make Japanese kamikazes that much more devastating. For our book report, produced by Catherine, we present British and American Tanks of World War II by Peter Chamberlain and Chris Ellis. Published in 1969, this 222-page book gives, despite its age, a well-written and well-researched summary of the many armored vehicles produced and tested before and during the war by the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand, and it includes many photographs and identifying details on changes made to vehicles during production. While this book is intended as a reference work and therefore is not in-depth as other books, it still provides a good amount of in-depth information on experimental variants, and while newer books might provide more information in images, this book is still a good reference work, and I would definitely recommend it to people if you can find it. This time around in the gaming news, we'll take a look at armored vehicles coming to War Thunder in the coming 1.89 update, Imperial Navy. One of the main focuses of this update for ground forces is anti-air systems, such as the Stormer HVM and Bradley ADATS. Both of these will be placed at rank 7. As well as these two, the Germans and French are also going to be receiving missile-based AA systems, such as the Flak Panzer I and the Roland 1 respectively. Both of these vehicles will utilize a common anti-air system, the Roland, a short-range surface-to-air missile mounted on a mortar hull for the Germans, and an AMX-30 hull for the French. Moving away from AA systems, the update will also include a few high-tier main battle tanks, the OF-40 MTCA and the Super AMX-30 at rank 6, and the Leclerc S1 at rank 7. The OF-40 MTCA is an export version of the Italian OF-40, mounting a laser rangefinder, stabilization system, and a 1,000 horsepower Fiat MTCA engine. Shifting over to look at more esoteric vehicles coming with this update, the Type 16 MCV for Japan's rank 7. Finally, the Soviet-Russian tree will receive the 9P149 Sturm S, a Tier 6 AFV with an extremely low profile, armed with an extremely potent Sturm and Attacca ATGMs. Update 1.89 looks to be promising for ground forces, despite the focus on the new Imperial Navy ships with some very interesting additions to the game. More information can be found on War Thunder's website and on Tank Encyclopedia's gaming site, which both have links in the description. And now, on to our articles. For our first article, we'll be looking at our article on the Panzer IV/75. This self-propelled anti-tank vehicle was one of several designed by Germany over the course of World War II, and came about due to a desire to upgrade the existing Jagdpanzer IV with a more powerful 7.5 cm L70 gun. Built upon the Panzer IV chassis, this Jagdpanzer features minor changes over the Jagdpanzer IV, beyond the upgraded gun, such as increased ground clearance, removal of air intake vents, and fewer welds on the armor plates for increased structural integrity. It is estimated that 930 to 950 of these vehicles were made, with construction starting in November of 1944 and ending around March or April of 1945. Used in defensive positions, firing from concealment, these vehicles were used to provide fire support and to secure the flanks of other panzer units. These tactics would play well into its strengths, such as good frontal armor, a strong gun, while compensating for its weaknesses, such as a lack of a turret. These Jagdpanzers saw combat on both fronts, such as fighting in the Ardennes against American troops or fighting in Allenstein against the Russians. After the war, a few of these vehicles made their way into Syrian hands and saw action in the Six-Day War, where one example still survives there today. A few of them exist elsewhere, with examples being located in Sofia in Bulgaria, Shrivenham in the UK, the Patton Museum in Aberdeen in the US, one in Ottawa, Canada, and another in Kubinka, Russia. This article was written by Marco Pantelic and illustrated by David Bocale. The next article we'll be taking a look at is the Lancia 3RO Blindato, an Italian armored truck. The unarmored civilian 3RO Lancia was already in use by the Italian army, used to transport soldiers, ammunition, or liquids with its tanker version. There was even a tank transporter variant which could move almost every tank in the Italian Royal Army. While only two were built, this armored car version was unchanged in terms of the engine and transmission, but received 9mm thick armored plates on all sides, and had a single-seater turret mounted on top. Armed with 3 Beretta machine guns and a light autocannon, this armored car was initially used for anti-partisan patrols. In the later days of April of 1945, it also found a use as a transport for Mussolini and his personal documents and belongings. After Mussolini traded this transport for a more nondescript German Opel Blitz, this armored car was involved in a firefight where it was disabled by partisans and taken to Milan. After the war, it became a monument in the city of Dongo, but in the 60s it was thought to be dismantled. This article was written by Arturo Gusti and illustrated by Yuvnashva Sharma with funds from our Patreon. That's all for this report. Make sure you follow our website. We'll be releasing new articles on the regular. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Reddit. If you use Discord, there's a link to our community server in the description. And if you'd like to help us continue to develop and expand, consider donating on Patreon. All of the funds will be used to help us enhance and design new articles and features for you. I'm Nathaniel, and until next time, keep us in your sights.